So welcome to our session today. Today, I want to review first of all what we learned yesterday, developing our Gantt charts. Gantt charts are very important in projects since it is used as a tool to track the progress of the project. So the project manager needs to keep on track the progress, because that is the main duty of the project manager, is to be able to track the progress, know what is happening at every activity, what is remaining, the remaining days, and perhaps the resource that is needed, and even balance also the resources, especially when, if at all your key resource is even sick, you need to replace, especially on critical activities. So this is very important. So we have a project before us here, and we just want to schedule our Gantt charts. Now, we don't need all this information. We shall only use what you call, we have tax duration, we have start date, and then we have the various tasks that's supposed to be take place, like secure the locations, order ingredients, notify stakeholders, invite press and participants, bid solar reflecting, final preparation, and then event day. So this is like running event, a project for an event. You want to carry out an event, just like wedding. So when you have wedding, at least you have schedules of various activities that you need to do. Each and every activity will have its own timeline to take. And for instance, if you are working over the weekends, then you will not have this adjusted length section. But in case you are not working over the weekends, then at least you give provision, give that allowance provision for holidays, especially days for that particular community. Those are some of the things that you need at least to take into consideration. So this is good, and we shall be able now to proceed developing our Gantt chart. So we say that when you want to develop Gantt chart, you come to insert. And what are we inserting? We're going to use what we call stacked bar chart. Stacked bar chart is used for generating our Gantt chart. So I come to this section where we have the various charts. We have two-dimensional charts and three-dimensional charts. I will use the three-dimensional charts, and specifically I'm going for this one. So immediately you click like that, you will get this space. You will get this icon, which is free, and it does not have anything inside it. So it starts to feed it with what you call the data. We want to feed it with the specific data that we have. So let me bring it here. I need to adjust it a bit. Yes, so I adjust it like that, so that now I feed it. I want to feed it with the data. So what do? I can left click this. I can click it to the left so that I come to select that. Look at what I do. I select that. So when I click like that, I can be able now to get this interface. So select data source will come forth. In the select data source, you just simply come to legend entries and add here, this one, so add. So what am I adding? I'm adding series name. So the series name that I started with the start date. So I will come here and then click the start date there. That's that. Then when I come to series values, I will simply remove what's called the default. I will remove the default and then bring in all these series values here. All the values, I will bring them like that. So that's done. I simply come here and say, okay. So I've already done with that. So I move next now. The start dates are all being incorporated into my Gantt chart. So I move next now to bring forth what you call the duration of each and every activity. So I will add again, under legend entries, I add again. So what do I add? I add what you call adjusted length in this case, and then I come and delete what you call series values. So I will bring forth all the adjusted values here. They have been adjusted with weekends and holidays in between, if at all they are. You will find that the dates for adjusted lengths are quite different with the dates for tax duration because of what you call weekends, holidays, and etc. So that's what we are using normally to adjust. And Excel has that formula where you just in the formula for adjustment. So we just simply come here and then say, okay. So after that, we have already done what you call start dates entries, adjusted lengths, which represent the tax duration have been put in. So the next thing that we want to do is to add the horizontal axis labels. So horizontal axis labels, you come here and then say duration. So I come to all the tax. I bring all the tax here. and that's done, I simply come and say, okay. So that is exactly what I have. And there I am there with my Gantt chart. I've already produced my Gantt chart. So the next things that are remaining are only editing. The only things that are remaining here are only editing things are what I want to do. So I will do my editings are the only things that I'm remaining with. And I will do my proper editing so that at least you can be able to see exactly what I'm doing. So I want them to be in one page. So definitely I will simply try to edit it so that it can be in one page from the top coming down, okay? So now, what I will do first of all is I may be expected to edit dates. I may be expected to edit dates. And first of all, I may remove this start. I may highlight this. And then I left click, come to formats, data series. Then what do? I come to this icon here. Come to this one in the middle. Okay. So, because what I wanted, let me try to see fade. Yes. When I say no fade, I will eliminate all those start times so that I don't remain with them. Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm remaining with now. And if you look at the dates, event date, what has happened with my event date? Yes. Okay, so I can simply continue with my editing so that there's a lot of space in between here, and that simply require me to identify the start date of the first project. First of all, before I do that, I need to rotate. I need to rotate this activity so that at least secure the location becomes on top. So I click it like that, and then I left click and then say format axis. And then now I will come to this one called categories in reverse order, axis positioned, categorized in reverse order. So I will come and put it like that. And once I do like that, automatically all the categories have been reversed in the way we want them to be, in exactly the way we want them to be. So so what I want to do here is now I want to eliminate my the space in between there so that I put the right dates. So I go to the dates and format the dates. So where are the dates now? So the dates are up here. I will click the dates. Whatever you want to do, you click it first. I will click the dates. And when I click the dates, I left click so that I can be able to go to format axis. And now what I'm expected to format here is the first date. So what I will do, what is that first date? I can bring this one so that I know exactly my format date. So which the first date is supposed to be, I copy this one, I put it down here. I put it down here. And then Excel represents dates with numbers. So we want to know the number representing start date for secure the location. So I can just simply come to what we call home, and then I come to I come to dates. Let me see. Yes, I come to numbers here. Yes, so that date is represented by 45,139. So I go back to this series where I was editing the dates, and then I write 45,139. So you come and get it like that, 45,139. So you come and put it like that. Equally, you can think about putting the dates for the maximum, the last date. You can also insert the last date. Last date here is this one. Let's see, when we present it in numbers, what does it represent, so that you can also be able to edit it at the same time. So the last date is 45,200. 45,200. So as I do like this, I edit, I come to this, I edit, format series, I come to the last date, 45,200. 45,200. So I come here and then I add these ones. That's the last date there. So at least I've formatted those ones very well. So what do I remain with? It's only just editing features is what is remaining here. Otherwise, I've already fixed all the activities in their rightful way. I'm not seeing this event day where it is represented, or because I used a bigger, yes. So here now you can see it, event day. That's the last event day. So this is exactly how my Gantt chart looks like for every activity that we are doing. So what remains here now is just to edit, to click everything, and go to design. So I design, I simply come here, and then perhaps I choose one of the options that are available here. I can choose even this one. Yes, I choose that one. And once I have done that, I simply come to formatting style, can choose that one. And then still I want to eliminate this. I have to eliminate these ones, the blue ones. Yeah, because they are representing the stuff. They're not, so I don't know, it's not picking all of them, it's picking one by one. I don't know how to eliminate it. I don't know, like you can just do it manually like that. No, I cannot, it can't expect me to do it manually like that. I want to click all of them at the same time, but nonetheless, I can do it one by one, format axis, let me see. So what simply you can be able to see here is the this color. Which color is this one on top? Is it yellow? Yes?
Orange.
Which color is it?
Orange.
Can somebody tell me?
It's okay.
Hello. Sorry that I've been training without the mic. Were you hearing me? Have you been hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah?
I think the color is reddish.
The color is reddish.
It's orange.
Yes.
It is
Orange.
It is orange, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just trying to ask if at all you have been hearing me, because it's like I was not with my earphone. It was out of me, and then I was talking without it. Were you able to hear me? All the steps I've taken?
Yes. Okay, we were able to hear you.
Yes.
Except for the echo. The echo was too much.
The echo was too much.
Yes.
But now we don't have that echo.
But we were able to follow.
But now you don't have the echo, isn't it?
Yeah, now there's no echo.
Yeah. That is the difference, because of what I was not engaging. So we only need to remove this. We only need to remove this these blue lines, and after we have already removed the blue lines, we have done. After we remove the blue lines, we have done with our Gantt chart. Otherwise, already Gantt chart, you can look at it. It looks presentable. You have seen the start dates is 8/1 of 2023, and then the last date of the completions of events day is also clearly indicated. However much that the Gantt chart is bigger than in size, so at least I needed to reduce it somehow like that, so that it can fit in one page, one specific page. Can it fit in one page? Yes. Now at least it looks better, because I wanted it to fit in one specific page so that you can see what is happening with it, or it is becoming bigger. So now this is the standard process of drawing our Gantt charts. The only thing remaining here is to remove the whites, the blue ones. Okay, now at least I've covered all of it. Can I be able to auto fit now? Left click, then format data series. Now I need to come here, no fill. Just simply disappeared, eliminated all of it. So I'm only remaining with the tax duration. These are adjusted tax length duration for each and every project. Now, often you will find that now what has happened here, the difference between this particular project and the others that we drew last time is that the difference is small. The difference is small. I wanted to copy this, but then it's not accepting to copy the all of it. Now, the difference here is that we are having start time. Let me go back. We are having start time for each and every activity. Then we have the task duration. Now, this simply is the duration for completing, securing the location. We have estimated it to take 15 days. The completion date is not necessarily you are adding 15 plus 8 to get completion date. Now, this comes in because of the way projects are normally done. That when we are scheduling project activities, you'll find that the critical, there are normally some allowance duration between one activity and the other, and that's what brings all the differences. Now, in this case, we are finding that there is also an additional date that we have provided for each and every activity, and that's what we have used to schedule our Gantt chart, adjusted length. So we talked about between this activity called securing location, we have 2 days. We have perhaps the most likely date that we expect to take, time we expect to take to be able to complete the task. And then in between, we decided that we want to be more conscious that we are not working over the weekends. And then what we have simply done is that the weekends and perhaps any holiday in between, we don't factor them in. And that will require us to do what we call adjusting the length of duration. Sometimes it requires us to behave that way, especially when we are doing our Gantt charts. But if you don't have, or if you're working over weekends, Saturday and Sunday, then perhaps you may not be interested in doing any adjustment. What simply this means that the securing location in this our case will take for us 21 days. And these 21 days are 21 working days. Now, it simply means when we want to know what is the time will we take to complete the project. If you use this task duration, then we may not be realistic because we are not working over the weekends. We are also not working over the holidays. So now, but this adjusted length has taken care of those to an extent that when we now are going to schedule and talk about the durations we shall take to complete the project, definitely it will give us more of a realistic day to complete the project. Remember, the day of completing the project is somehow slightly different with the day of starting the activity. Because when you see like the event, start of every activity is presented there. So now, this is our Gantt chart now we need to share with the stakeholders. And there's something that I wanted to talk of, especially in our today's session, is that your ability to communicate clearly to your bosses, especially the top management, is very critical in project management as a PM. Because those top guys are not so much interested with a lot of details. They want it to be more precise, more clear, and you can be able to explain the details on how that particular project is connected to the strategic objectives of the organization. Because remember, at their desk, they are so much interested in seeing that the strategic objectives are getting fulfilled. So that alignment of projects with the strategic objectives of the organization is very key, and you must be able to explain it anytime that you are with them. Because that is what they want. They don't want a lot of paperwork. They want it to be very brief. When you go to do your explanation, or you are using even PowerPoint presentation, please, these are the things to use. Just present one PowerPoint and you explain everything, where you are right now, what you still need, the challenges you're experiencing in securing the location, and perhaps if they need to get in, or you already put proper mechanisms in place to secure everything without their involvement. Those are the things they want to hear. So ordering ingredients, they want to know you are ordering from where, what have you done to ensure that the procurement procedure are proper, and is the place you are ordering legit? Are they offering things of high quality? Those are the things they want to hear. And perhaps that particular durations, where you are with that procurement process, who is in charge of doing it, and et cetera, and et cetera. They want to be briefed on exactly where you are concerning the project and your implementation processes. So clarity in terms of being able to connect with your boss is very critical, because it will affect your promotion. It will also affect their involvement, because remember, top leadership involvement in our projects is very, very key and very critical to our success. So anytime that we want to succeed, we must be able to align very well with what you call, first of all, the confidence we need to, the top management needs to have confidence in us that we are able, we know our work well, we are doing our work exactly well, and we know what we are doing. Immediately we present that, then definitely they will get interested in supporting us. But if at all they see that at least we don't even know what we are doing, we are perhaps relying so much on our team or our staff, as opposed to the PM having what you call the person in charge. Remember, we told about the other time that you don't need to be a technical person so that you can manage any project before you. But then the technical skills are very important, because you need to demonstrate even to your team that you know exactly your task, the work very well, so that they have confidence in you. They will consult you often. You'll be able at least to even train them, harvest their potential. Use all techniques available so that you can harvest the potential of your team. And that's all what we normally do in the project implementation step. That in the implementation step, we have 3 major components that we are so much interested in putting right. One is managing the human resource, which are the team that you have before you. And that human resource also extends to what we call the stakeholders, because stakeholder management during implementation is very key. Stakeholders engagement, and one of the stakeholders are the sponsors and the top leadership of the company that given you that particular project. And normally what we normally do is that I have to have a very proper relationship with the boss that I'm reporting to. And one of the things that will make them be interested in what I'm telling them is demonstrating my competence in presenting the project, even like the plan. My presentations and my organization skill must be beyond question, so that they build confidence. That has really connected very well in most of the programs, consultancy programs that we have been doing. So my boss, I have a good relationship with my boss. And beyond my boss, there are people outside there, all other stakeholders. I also need to engage them appropriately. Remember, sometimes you may decide to be connecting your stakeholders through email. Yes, you send them email. And some people check even 6 or 5 days before they do what? They even check their email. So you revert. Beside emails, you check. When you send email to X, how long does it take to respond? If it takes long, then you stop now sending emails, but now use the phone call. Yeah, because remember, you need immediate feedback, because you want to factor that feedback in order for you to progress, go ahead. So each and every stakeholder, you must examine what is the best means of communicating with them, so that you also write down that Mr. X, I will only use phone call. Mr. X responds to emails very fast. It's ever on what you call their social media platform. So even the WhatsApp, I can use WhatsApp, yes. To what extent? Okay, so you treat your stakeholders on individual basis. Don't treat them, because they have their unique preferences, and those preferences must be factored into our project. We need their buy-in as we continue implementing the program project. We talked about in the implementation is very key. Immediately after planning is done, we go to what we call the implementation. That is where at least 75% of the resources are getting committed to the project. and timeline. Most of the time of the project is during what you call the implementation. 3 components are very important. And these components are, number 1 is the so-called managing the human resource. So how do I effectively manage the human resource as a project manager? Can somebody now share with us? How do you be able to manage your team as a PM? Because some of you are already in what you call the project management task. And what do you do so that you get the best from your employees? Because that is the question. Can you share with us your experiences? Yes? Please. What do you normally do, especially in the project, so that you get the best from your team? One personal experience. This, we say, it's not academic training, so it's more of experiences that we are supposed to share here now. What do you do to get the best from your team? We talked about one critical part or main task that is done in the implementation is managing the human resource, motivating them. Yeah, any deliverable which is successful, at least you need to call a party. Let's guys celebrate. Let's rewards be done so that at least the team can be able to know exactly that performing well or committing yourself to the task and to completion successfully is actually being acknowledged. It's being rewarded in this particular enterprise. So let that come out very clear. And that's part of how you can be able to manage your team to also get the best from them. That stage is very critical because we also have what we call capacity building, nurturing skills, greater skills, especially when you see there are gaps in between in the skill set of the team. So training is highly encouraged. And it's even more advisable if at all you are the PM who is doing some trainings yourself. They will get a lot of interest in you because remember, it's a matter of confidence building. My team, I have confidence. My team have confidence that I have the capacity to manage the program. My people I'm reporting to have the confidence that I have the capacity to deliver the way I do my presentation. With them, they will assess you based on how you do their presentation and how you be accountable, how you also make them be on toes regarding their responsibilities concerning the project, because each and every person has a responsibility. And how you are going to write your charter is very critical, because from that is where you start the engagement. They will commit resources to you. You will be given authority to manage those particular resources. But on the other hand, they will interfere with you. So now you have to put safeguards so that your scope is not interfered with. At least let's do changes later. But whatever we agreed, our requirements, let's deliver it. After that is when you can convince them to do changes later if it is not working. Like for instance, it might be an IT program, but in an IT program, you may find that by the time the capacity that we envisaged is not meeting what we call the client's base that we have got. So what we do in that perspective, we simply need to require some adjustment to the already existing system so that at least we can increase the capacity to for the system to be useful in our organization. So you expect changes will come even by the time you're doing the implementation, or changes coming later. But what is more important for PM is to ensure that you have proper documented change management plan, and change must originate from the change origination process must follow proper procedure, because those are all auditable processes that must be in place. Remember, in the implementation stage is where we are managing processes, we are managing the people. Yes, we are managing processes, we are also managing the people. And then finally, I don't know what the next thing that we are managing. I think I will be able now to share perhaps the slide. Let me share for us this slide for our day 3. Actually, I'm already in day 3. I'm already in day 3 work. So we are simply supposed to look at the implementation process group. So under implementation process group, what are the key parts that we are supposed to look at? Let's briefly share this. I don't know why it is refusing to share the screen, or because of I'm also in another. Are you able to see my PowerPoint?
No.
Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
You can see it,
Yes.
isn't it? How can you be a more useful PM in your organization? This is something that I expected at least also for us to share the experiences. Now, since most of you are quiet, so at least I will do the presentation myself. Helping your team unlock their potential. This is very key. And you can only do this if you are a smart guy. So you must be very smart in knowing what's supposed to be done and being able to manage your team efficiently well. Now, team in projects are not like team in operation processes. Now, because now we have very tough deadlines that we must be able to meet. So these people need to be motivated. They need to be motivated. They need to be encouraged. They need to be trained. And it is you to train them. It is you to put everyone in the same page, from the people you are reporting to outside stakeholders, and exactly to your team, as also the internal stakeholders. You must be able to put them in the same page concerning what we need to deliver, what it takes for us to deliver every task and assignment. And even if at all every task you assign somebody who is going to be in charge, who is reporting to you, but encourage honesty as much as possible, and at the same time open up so that the guys, when they are facing challenges, they may come to you. It simply means as a PM, you will not be able to criticize your team when they bring for you challenges in the sector. When you do criticism, especially public, where everyone is able to hear, definitely you will shut them down. No one will ever now bring for you when they are experiencing some challenges. So what will happen is that you're going definitely to fail, because there is not going to be openness. We need to manage project in a very open environment. It's very, very important. That is what has made us be very successful in the previous projects that at least you have been engaged to work on. So now, apart from that, we will talk about stakeholders management, which is very critical. You inform them about the status. At the same time, you need to involve them on everything that you are doing so that they remain in the same. And I've said the manner of engaging these stakeholders needs to differ from person to person. Don't use one method that you are using to engage all your stakeholders, like you are writing emails to all of them at the same time and expecting feedback from all of them. No, you must be able to understand your stakeholders in regard to which means of communication is more efficient when I engage Mr. X. Use that particular means of communication. It may be a form, it may be an email. So once you have already done the test, then a preliminary basis, you just do like trial. But as you get the feedback, using the trials, you now take note of this one is more good when I communicate within this manner. Treat them as individual basis. So there is what we call individual differences of my stakeholders I need to understand, so that I use that as the means of basis of communicating to them. These people will either make you succeed or not, because they are also the final guys who are going to accept your output. So if they start developing a lot of issues in between because of non-involvement, definitely, regardless of how your output looks like, they will definitely say, no, this is not good. And why is it not good? It's not good, not necessarily that it's not good, but then their interests were not catered for. So you have to ensure that the interests of these stakeholders have been met. And that's why there's the matrix of analyzing the level of influence and then the level of power of each and every stakeholder, so that I can know my engagement level of each and every individual is very, very important to be done during the stage when you are doing what you call project initiation. So now we come to become more technical, yes. However much, it is not a prerequisite for you to manage project based on you being a technical guy. However, being technical is very important, because PM management involves a lot of what we call a greater percentage of soft skills. So your soft skills will make you succeed more than even the technical component. But then, for the sake of communicating that you know what you're doing, please, you also, like even planning these things and then doing the presentation just to win confidence of the team that you are getting involved is very, very important for us now to also learn these technical skills, like exactly what we are doing. What we are doing here, preparing those Gantt charts, involving a technical skill, an effective communication. Then, if possible, perhaps let's also prove that we are getting satisfied. That's going to be very, very important. Then how will I look at my success? what do my success as a PM depends on? So the success, we have what we call success criteria that has been established to us by the PMI. A project being able to be completed in budget and in time. That is, we consider that as a successful project. A project completed in time meets sponsors' objectives and meets the fund requirement, and customers score the product satisfactory. All these are considered to be a successful project. So if you want to know whether your project is successful, then the parameters of success are 5, according to Project Management Institute. So there are triple constraints, which are 3: budget, time, and perhaps what you call quality. But then we have talked about meeting objectives, and then the requirement, which sometimes interchangeably can be called performance. Then customer satisfaction has been incorporated as part of the success criteria for every project. It simply means we are doing these projects for the customers. So the customers say, especially during evaluation is very, very critical. What do they say concerning what we gave them? They are very happy, they are satisfied. Then we go into analyzing what changes can they experience as a result of what we gave them. So the changes that they have witnessed after our program are actually going to be established during the time we are doing what we call project evaluation. And they are part of how we can be able to quantify our success. We have changed life. To what extent have we changed life? What are they able to do differently? If they are able at least now to, they were initially collecting water in around 10 kilometers and wasting a lot of time. Then now in quantifying our benefits, we shall look at, now that we brought for you water near the place, how are they utilizing that time that they used to go productively, at least to increase their income? So we'll go to the extent of trying to inquire from them exactly that as a result of what we have done, what other spillover benefits can they be able to record or document, direct or indirect? So during evaluations, we shall collect those particular data and be part of us quantifying the benefits that the project has brought to the stakeholders. So now we come to what will make me fail as a PM. Ensure all stakeholders sign the charter. This is very critical. Let all those key team who are your critical stakeholders sign your charter. Reason why this is supposed to be done is, if they don't do this, they will come to you and tell you what they want to see. And they will tell you they never approved what you are doing. And that simply means you have to alter the scope. But you are altering the scope without change in what's called the budget. And if that is done, it simply means you have to look for money yourself, which is from your pocket, to do what they want. So that is a scenario that simply collapses majority of the projects. And in order to avert yourself from that particular, even if a person has given you a house to construct for them, this person will give you as a contractor, he will give you money that you already quantify that he needs 10 million so that he can be able to construct the house. It will give you in phases. It will give you, perhaps first gives you something like 4 million. You start the work. Then after that, you make develop a BQ and then a request for additional funds to continue with the project. Then, as they will also come to visit what you are doing. There is when they come and visit you, they tell you, no, I never expected a door to be like this. I want you to raise it like that. I want this one to be like, so you see, anything that they are trying to tell you they don't want the way you have done it, and you have already done it, it simply means you have already incurred cost. So any change that they want, yeah, they're telling you, me, what I wanted is this one. So there's a lot of conflict in the project, and we can simply avoid those conflicts by being smart. You need to be smart, guys, and therefore, one of the things is that let the document for engagement be signed. And by the time they're signing, they are reading the content they are in. And the content they are in has protected me as much as possible as my PM. And that's one of your success rates. You begin succeeding the moment you go to develop your charter. and you organize it well, and all signed by all the key stakeholders that perhaps will influence you. So don't give room for you to be tossed up and down. Even if you are a contractor, don't give room, the person giving you work, the project manager giving you work to do the construction work, to toss you up and down until you look as if you are an ignorant person. They will challenge you. They even go to court and then challenge everything that you are doing. But furthermore, they will say you are very incompetent. So don't look incompetence by giving room for people to toss you up and down. Be very rigid and very firm in the kind of agreement that you're making with the people. From there alone, they look at you, they see that this guy is very competent enough. From the sign of having agreement in place before you start the work, and the clause that you're put in the in that particular charter is to protect you from those alterations of changing the scope anyhow. Because definitely, if you continue changing the scope anyhow, I will require more resources to be able to complete that particular project. That is number one cause for failure. And they will never take responsibility that it is them that attributed to their failure. So many people have done project and then there's even no money you're remaining with. Even the so-called the money that you are budgeted for your services will go towards implementing this project because you never became very tight with the, what you call your scope. Our scope, we have to protect it. We cannot be rigid in project. We allow flexibility. But can there be any flexibility change? Can there be any change with additional negotiation on the resources for it? Yes, because what we are doing, we totally budgeted for it. So if at all we have to change it, what do we need? We need a budget for the same. That is the condition that we allow that changes to be implemented. Yes. So there's no problem for that. If that is the case that they are doing it. Make it difficult to change your scope. That is a key. And if you do like that, hold your focus. Don't allow distractions. Hold the focus, manage your team, manage the processes, and there you are. You are a successful PM in any project that you are undertaking. Projects are not easy, and that's why you say they are unique. There are new experiences that we are going to meet, and it is us to manage them so that at least they don't weigh us out. All what we want is to succeed. We need to be successful. How then can we say that our progress has failed? How projects can fail? So definitely failures may be attributed to the following things. Number one is poor planning. Poor planning, not being able to engage your stakeholders appropriately well, and actually non-involvement of your top leadership is very critical. And it is you who will make them get not involved, since they look at you and then they say, this is not the right guy who is we can be able to trust. However much we have already given them the work, but then this guy is not up to this job well. So immediately they start developing that negative attitude towards you because of the way you are even doing your presentation. Definitely, you expect it very rough, and it's going to be very difficult for you to succeed in that particular project. So we have to demonstrate our competence, and this can be assessed during the early stages of our encounter at that particular company. At the time that you have been involved to go and do a consultancy of taking up the project, of managing the project, at least during the early period, we bond, but we also need to illustrate that we are able to deliver the work. Immediately people see that you are able to deliver the work, they raise confidence. Even the team are going to cooperate with you so well. But if even your team knows that you don't know this work well, what they will do is to sabotage you. Yeah. So within a very short time, they will just start finding a lot of letters are being written to the top leadership so that you get fired. And just as this happened several times, it will happen to you that you will not complete that particular project, however much you took it through very funny means, but you will never be able to be the one closing the project because you'll be fired, they will bring a new PM, and matters continue like that. So initial stages, let's be friendly, let's be professional, and more so, let's demonstrate ability. We know our work well, and remember, we talked about the greater percentage of work, 80% to 85% is more about communication. 80% is more about communication. So how you are going to communicate with your team, with those stakeholders is influencing your success to a very great extent. So let's know our game very well as the PM, and then I'll talk about this as the critical components of this project implementation. I've already talked about it: managing processes, managing people, and distributing information appropriately to all the stakeholders so that at least they are aware. We put them in the same page. Okay, project execution steps. The first step, delegate tasks to get work done effectively. Delegate. You're not the one doing everything, so we must be able to learn the art of delegation. Yeah. And when you delegate, please give the people authority to do their work well. Let them report to you and encourage them to do best, exceed even your expectation. By simply organizing for them small parties to congratulate what they have done, they will see the need for doing better and better. That's one of the ways of human management, by appreciating their work. Empower your team to make decisions if possible. Be open to the new ideas that they will bring forth in the briefings. And if possible, those ideas need to be retested. And after that is when you can make a decision of implementing them. Manage the communication properly. And most importantly is ability to measure your progress regularly. And that is what we are going to use the Gantt charts also to track our progress. Gantt charts can also be used as monitor and control tool of trying to see where we are at every point, yes, in our projects. And then control your scope, ensure quality requirements are properly put in place. And then when we talk about in the implementation is where also we manage what we call the contracts. We manage the procurement procedures, yeah, because we are needing resources to be able to do the implementation. Resources will come. So when they come, we must also manage the resources well. Put security controls like even the CCTVs to ensure that the resources for the project is not going in the wrong hand. Employees normally are challenging when they find the project resources. You may find that a greater percentage of the resources that were supposed to be devoted to go for the distribution to the families who are affected by hunger, a greater percentage has already gone to the market. So you have to put proper control about the project resources so that at least you can be able to remain accountable, and we put encourage accountability among your team. So apart from that, challenges that you're going to experience, one is misunderstanding. That is human nature, and it's our responsibility to manage misunderstanding that will arise often in the project within the team. This misunderstanding may be as a result of prejudice and education differences. Okay, that's there. But then it's not our education that's going to assist us manage the program. And therefore, you must be able to tell the people the need of selfing out those kind of differences so that at least we remain bound to the objectives that we are set to achieve. Sometimes sponsors get disengaged. Yeah. Sometimes the project was implemented, but the very, very guys at the top were not interested. So they will never support it. And people of equal level, like the line managers, marketing manager, finance manager, when the project manager gets in, you are the same level with them. Now, what normally happens is that in a situation whereby we are not a project organization, especially we are an enterprise, like even a bank, then what will happen is that the team that I will recruit from the already existing departments that are there. Look at you yourself going to pick one of the best staff in finance department or in the procurement department or in marketing department to join your project team. It's not easy. Those people will criticize you. They will not accept because it's like your aim is to bring their department down. You are competing. And because of those competition interests, you must learn how you will use the existing system to support your choice of the team that you want to use in your program. And mostly that's involved going to the top leadership, and then they will give direction to the HR HR will bring letters of posting various staff to the project department. All those involve politics on how you are going to do it so that you can be able to get the resources. The resources you'll get, but it involves some kind of politics in between. It will assist you to be able to get the resources without having conflict with other line managers of the equal authority like you. Remember, when a project manager gets into the system, then since this is a temporary assignment, you are not different with the already existing line managers like marketing manager and all that other existing there. You are almost the same. So you report to the same person. And therefore, you cannot just be seen to be having authority above these other departments. You must work in harmony so that everyone at least will know you are not there to sabotage their work. You are there for the sake of meeting strategic objectives of the organization. And that particular project is part of what is there in the strategic plan of the organization. So that is the message. Tips for success: assign clear responsibility and accountability to your team members. Explain the rationale and motivation behind the decision we are taking so that we get buy-in for most of the people. When you experience a setback, own your mistakes. Don't throw it to your team or any other person. Own that responsibility and commit yourself for a change. That's how maturity requires. Maturity cannot allow you to be taking back over your responsibility to other people. When the problems arises, you throw it to other people. That is a human nature. But that nature is a bad nature for you to use in the project environment. So own those mistakes, promise a change, and then work towards that particular change so that things can become better. Yeah. So we behave like that in the project, and in the all run, everything is going to work for us in a good direction. So I think that is the last part of our presentation, and we can only have a session of question and